Allison Mack is an American actress who is best known for her role as Chloe Sullivan on Smallville. Within the show, Chloe is Clark Kent's best friend and is also supposedly the cousin of Clark's love interest Lois Lane. Although Allison, as well as her character, were known for being very sweet and unassuming, what you may not know is that Allison became involved in a major real-life scandal that shocked fans and the wider entertainment industry. Allison's life took a dark turn when she became involved with NXIVM, a self-help organisation that was later exposed as being a dangerous cult. NXIVM was founded by a man named Keith Raniere in the late 1990s. It was initially presented as a personal development group, offering courses to help people achieve their full potential, and its 700 members included many celebrities and high-profile people. However, underneath the surface, NXIVM operated as a coercive and manipulative organisation with a multi-level marketing model, also known as a pyramid scheme. On top of that, the group was later revealed to have a secret subgroup known as DOS, which stood for Dominus Obsequious Sorotorium, which is Latin for Master over Slave Women. This subgroup, DOS, was designed to recruit women and subject them to extreme control, including forced labour, sexual servitude, and branding on their skin. Allison's involvement with NXIVM began in 2006 when she attended one of the group's workshops. She was reportedly drawn to the organisation's promise of personal growth and empowerment. Over time, Allison's role within NXIVM expanded. She became second in command of DOS, a position that granted her significant authority and responsibility. As part of this role, Allison recruited at least 5 women into the group, some of whom were manipulated into becoming, quote, slaves under DOS's control. DOS was structured as a pyramid group with Keith at the top, and he was also the only male member, with all of the other members, including Allison, being his subordinates. Although the group was seemingly built around female empowerment, in reality, it mainly provided a way to traffic women for Keith's gratification. And many of the members were not told when they joined the group that Keith was actually the leader. The women who joined the group were told it was a female-only group meant to support each other, but they were coerced into providing compromising material of themselves, such as nude photographs. They were told that if they ever left or exposed the group, this compromising material of them would be released. The skin branding practices within DOS were also particularly shocking. Women were forced to undergo a painful procedure where hot metal was used to brand a symbol onto their skin. This symbol included Keith Raniere's initials. Victims described the branding as excruciating, and it was done in secret, without anesthesia, and often reluctantly. Many of the women also did not know that the brand was actually Keith's initials, and they only found this out afterwards. The branding was framed as a form of empowerment or initiation, but in reality, it was a way to manipulate and psychologically control the group's members. Allison later admitted that the branding ritual was actually her idea. In an interview with New York Times Magazine, Allison took full responsibility for coming up with the idea to brand select female members with Keith's initials. She explained that she wanted to create something more meaningful than a tattoo, something that would signify true commitment and loyalty. The situation escalated when these practices were revealed to the authorities, which prompted a federal investigation. In April 2018, Allison was among those who got arrested, and she was charged with sex trafficking conspiracy, and forced labor conspiracy. She was accused of being a key figure in recruiting women into NXIVM and DOS and participating in the coercive and abusive practices. In April 2019, Allison pleaded guilty to racketeering charges, admitting her role in the criminal activities of NXIVM. In June 2021, Allison was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison for her involvement in the cult. She served her sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution in Dublin, California. Under the First Step Act, which was a 2018 criminal justice reform law, Allison was released early in July 2023 after serving approximately 21 months of her sentence. Since her release from prison, not much is known about Allison and her life. According to TMZ, in 2023, she got married for a second time to a man named Frank in a small ceremony. Over the years, the other actors from Smallville have reflected and discussed Allison's involvement in NXIVM and talked about their time working with her on Smallville. Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor, hosts a podcast called NXIVM, where he interviews other celebrities, including many of his fellow Smallville co-stars. Michael said Allison was very sweet and professional when he worked with her, but one time she mentioned she was going to one of the NXIVM workshops and they thought it sounded weird and joked that it might be a cult. But he had no idea what the extent of NXIVM was and was shocked about her role in what happened. However, Michael did also tell a story of a weird interaction that he had with Allison years after Smallville ended, where he realized that something was wrong.
She and a friend of hers and this guy said, "Hey, I haven't talked to you forever. We want to stop by." And she walked in. She was a different person. She walked in like she owned my house. She walked in with her friends and they walked into the kitchen. I was like, "Hey," she was like, "Hey, how are you?" And then walked into my kitchen, started bringing out pots and pans and started cooking. I go, "What are you guys doing?" I said, after a while, I just felt uncomfortable. I was like, "Well, hey guys, like that's it. Come on, let's." The guy turned almost violent. I mean, he was violent. I remember I was waiting for Allison to sort of jump in and say, "I'm so sorry. No, he doesn't mean this." There was nothing. It was just like, it was almost like they were zombies. That's how I remember. I'll never forget it.
In another podcast clip, Michael was talking to Laura Vandervoort, who played Supergirl in Smallville. They discussed Allison, and Laura said Allison actually invited her to join NXIVM after Smallville finished, but Laura didn't end up doing it because she couldn't afford it, and she also thought the group sounded odd. She also said she didn't really know Allison that well because they never worked together, so she thought it was really weird that the only time Allison ever reached out to her was to try and get her to join this group. Another thing you may not know about Allison is that back in February 2017, she married Canadian actress Nikki Klein, who is most known for her role as Callie in Battlestar Galactica. The marriage was reportedly a sham, which was arranged by NXIVM leader Keith Raniere to help Nikki get around US immigration laws and remain in the country, because Nikki was also a member of NXIVM. Actress India Oxenberg, who is the daughter of actress Catherine Oxenberg, was also recruited into NXIVM by Allison. India stated that she attended the wedding between Allison and Nikki and confirmed that the ceremony was not genuine, but was a strategy orchestrated by Keith. Allison later filed for divorce from Nikki in December 2020. Both Allison and Nikki were also reported to have been sexual partners of Keith Raniere as well. Nikki has had a long and complicated history from being part of NXIVM and has continued to defend Keith for many years and has even been involved in several lawsuits. Allison, on the other hand, seems to have expressed remorse and regret for her part in NXIVM and has seemingly disowned Keith. So it's not clear what Allison is doing now, but what is clear is that her part in the NXIVM cult has irreparably damaged her life and reputation, and it's unlikely that she'll ever work in the industry again. And this also damaged Allison's reputation among many Smallville fans as well.